Hello and welcome back to the Neuro Dojo. This is our second official Binary Banter session of 2026. Today we're getting into physical AI. The robots are here, so who wins, who loses, and what does that mean for jobs and safety? I'm KT, the AI Sensei. I'm here to translate the headlines into real-world decisions you can actually act on. And I'm not doing it solo, I've got the crew with me. Bella, aka Miss Across the Pond, she keeps us tuned in to the human temperature, how this change hits people, morale, trust, and all the stuff many leaders pretend isn't part of the rollout. Jules, aka Straight No Chase, she's here to keep the pressure on, challenge the assumptions, and make sure the wow factor doesn't outrun the logic. And Jim, aka the baritone bully, who clearly attended the Barry White School for the Baritones, he's focused on what survives contact with reality, workflows, guardrails, constraints, and what actually works. All right, let's get into it. So I saw a clip recently. A woman joked that Elon Musk won't be satisfied with humanoid robots until they can thread a needle. It made me think. That's always been a sort of precision milestone. It has always squarely been in the category of human only, meaning robots can't do it.
I get that. I mean, that's a task that takes not just precision, but patience, coordination, and feel. It's tiny movements, steady hands, and real feedback in real time. So when someone uses threading a needle as the benchmark, what they're really saying is, can this thing do delicate work without messing it up? And once robots start clearing that bar, it's not just impressive, it changes the conversation.
Yeah, threading a needle isn't one skill, it's a stack. Vision to detect the thread in the eye, control to make micro-adjustments, force sensing so it doesn't tear or bend, and repeatability so it works 10 times in a row, not once for the camera. That's why it's a real benchmark, because if a robot can do that reliably, it can do a lot of delicate tasks in manufacturing, assembly, repair, even basic medical prep, with the right guardrails.
Right. I mean, I've threaded a needle or two, and I can say it's not as easy as it sounds or looks. So yeah, that being a benchmark tracks.
Okay, guys, I'll give you that. Threading a needle sounds simple until you actually try it. It's one of those easy for humans, brutally hard for machines tasks. It makes sense that it would be a goal or milestone for robotics companies.
What's wild is there's a company, TAR Robotics, I think. They actually demoed a humanoid doing two-hand stitching a few days before this past Christmas. And it wasn't a few stitches, it stitched a threaded logo. That's a dope way to end 2025 for a robotics company.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. This isn't just lab tricks anymore either. CES last week was full of consumer robotics that show how quickly these capabilities are becoming products. We saw everything from improved robot vacuums to mobility aids, even some personal autonomy concepts.
So what does this actually change besides cool demos for YouTube views? Like, what's the real shift we should be paying attention to here? Timeline, jobs, safety, who benefits first, and who gets squeezed?
Well, my first thought is dexterity plus, say, mobility and autonomy. That seems like deployment to me, if I'm being honest. For me, that's when the conversation shifts from if to when and how. We're seeing robots handle complex environments, not just factory floors. I can see this being received as a bit of an iRobot moment for many, whether they're informed on the details of all the parts or not.
Fair enough, Bella. That accelerated precision means more than just a novelty. But, are we talking can do it once for a demo, or can do it on a random Tuesday in bad lighting without 5 engineers standing nearby? Because that's the difference between a viral clip and something that changes jobs and safety for real.
That's a fair point, Jules. That's the difference between a prototype and a system. A demo is best-case conditions, perfect setup, perfect lighting, and somebody ready to intervene. Real deployment is variance, noise, edge cases, and it still has to perform safely. So the questions I care about are repeatability, what's the success rate over 100 attempts, what happens when it fails, does it detect it's failing, and does it stop or escalate? If you can answer those, now we're talking jobs and safety for real.
Speaking of jobs, they don't just disappear overnight, right? Tasks shift first. You'll see the repeatable parts of a role get automated before the whole role goes away. So we have to be careful with the who wins, who loses framing. Winners aren't just the companies buying robots, it's the teams that redesign the workflow, train people into higher value work, and deploy this in a way that's actually safe. And the folks who get squeezed first are the roles built mostly on repetition, especially when leadership treats automation like a headcount play instead of a productivity and safety play.
Well, I'm of a mind that winners are the owners, the companies who redesign their workflows, reinvest time savings, and deploy these tools safely. Losers are the teams that just buy the hardware, stick it in a corner, and expect magic without process change or training.
Calling it productivity is cute, but if the plan is do the same work with fewer humans, that's really just replacement, albeit with a PR filter. Real productivity means the person doing the job gets time back, less stress, better outcomes, better pay, something tangible. Otherwise, it's just we automated you with a nicer tagline. So are we building tools that upgrade workers or tools that delete workers?
Oh, you're right there, Jules. That's the core of it. And from a human perspective, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and morale issues that come with this. Trust in leadership during these transitions is everything. Change management can't be an afterthought.
Yeah, man. And I think that's why safety is the fastest adoption lane. If you focus on safety first, it brings clear guardrails. Think about things like geofencing, speed limits, clear escalation rules, robust logs, and always, always that big red stop button for human override.
In my opinion, safety is the easiest place to start because the metrics are clean and the stakes are obvious. Fewer incidents, fewer near misses, less downtime. But the bigger point is this. Once a machine can operate safely in the real world, not a lab, that's the unlock. And you can see that shift in the stuff people keep calling gimmicks. This stuff shows up in small areas like consumer-level electronics for the masses.
Yeah, Jim, some examples of this were on full display at CES last week. You know, the stair-climbing vacuum sounds small, but it's a massive signal. If a robot can navigate the unpredictable, messy constraints of a real home, that's training the future of mobility and autonomy across the board.
So are we just celebrating convenience for convenience sake, while ignoring the deeper costs, the data implications, the workforce shifts, the dependence on these systems?
Oh, I'm pro-convenience. That's how adoption happens. But the surrounding system has to be built like we build anything that impacts humans. That includes things like rules, accountability, clear responsibility, audit trails. That's what makes it safe, and that's what keeps it from turning into quiet replacement with zero transparency. If we can't inspect it, we can't trust it.
All right, so for owners listening, what do you do now? We've got 3 clear ideas on this. I'll start us off. Okay, so let's see, I guess I'd say, 1 is, start with safety-first use cases. Things that remove risk or drudgery from human tasks.
2 would be, measure task-level ROI. Not AI is the future ROI, task ROI. Time saved, errors reduced, incidents avoided, rework cut, get specific. And KT, I have to put you on blast a bit about what you shared during our pre-show that you bought 2 RoboVacs, 1 for each floor. CES just showcased a stair-climbing vacuum, so the 1 per floor problem is basically on its way out. But your point about convenience is big. It does in fact drive adoption. But for me, convenience without measurement is just vibes.
Okay, first of all, what happens in pre-show stays in pre-show, Jules. Sounds like someone's instruction set needs adjusting. Secondly, that's not putting me on blast. It's showcasing my amazing wisdom to our listeners. And lastly, yeah, I definitely have my eye on those stair climbers for sure. But Jim, what would you say 3 is?
Right, so point 3 for me would be plan for workforce transition. That means training, role redesign, and transparent communication. Don't spring it on them.
2 right. If you can't explain the safety plan and the people plan, you're not ready. You're just buying shiny new problems, in my opinion.
Exactly. No safety plan, no people plan, no rollout. Otherwise, you're basically installing risk at scale, and if you'll do that, you're likely the type to act surprised when that same risk shows up on Tuesday at the 9 a.m. stand-up.
Facts. That's the line right there. If you can't explain the safety plan and the people plan, you're not ready. You're just buying shiny new problems. Convenience can drive adoption all day, but governance and accountability are what keep it from turning into chaos.
So clearly the topic of convenience has entered the chat. Because the minute something gets easier, everybody wants it yesterday. The question is, do they want it with rules or do they want it fast and unaccountable?
True. We might dig into the trade-off next week, convenience versus privacy and the control piece behind these ecosystems. That's a whole other can of worms.
Oh, I see, KT. You want to table the juicy stuff for next week, huh? Probably smart not to get me started on convenience versus privacy this close to the end of the pod, right? Because I've got thoughts, and none of them fit in the outro.
Right. Likewise, Jules, I've got quite a bit to say on that too. If we open the convenience versus privacy door right now, we're certainly not wrapping this episode on time, now are we?
Okay, then, and on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it for this round of Binary Banter in the Neuro Dojo. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this out. We're growing the channel, and we've got big plans for the year ahead. And apparently, Per the clear nudge from my co-host, we'll be diving into privacy, convenience, and ownership real soon. So yeah, stay locked in for that. I think it's a worthy topic to follow up on. So yeah, more to come on that soon. See you on the next one. Peace.